Ghostbusters the video game is one of the most underrated speedruns of all time. It's a genuinely peak game, it's meant a lot to me since I was a kid, and it means a lot to the fans as well as the writers, as the third movie in spirit. It's made by the very same Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis that wrote the original movies, and it stays very true to the fans of the franchise. It released to good reviews. The 2009 version sold about 3 million copies, from what I can tell. The information isn't very clear, which was enough to get remastered for modern consoles in 2019 and come to Steam in 2020. And the Steam port of this game is where the story of this speedrun starts for me, back about 4 years ago. So I used to, and I still do, glaze the ever-loving shit out of this game. So after playing the original 2009 version for many hours when I was younger, seeing a remaster came to Steam had me about ready to... I picked it up and I played through it maybe 3 times, exhausting the main story, and then I put it down for about 4 years. Then, come 2025, I was getting the itch to grind some more Ghostbusters, right? So I went for the Platinum Trophy, and for this Platinum I needed to finish the game again for some assorted achievements, and I wanted to try and finish it as fast as possible without focusing hard on actually speedrunning the game. So I finished it in maybe 3 or 4 hours, getting some very fucking difficult trophies along the way. This led me on to the thinking about speedrunning this game. So I did some research, I found out how to set up live split, right? And I did my first run through the game. I managed to pull out 2 hours, 18 minutes and 51 seconds, which is utterly abysmal in the end, like god awful fucking shit. The world record right now is 1 hour 42. This put me down a bit of a rabbit hole for this game, leading me to now running it actively, and I'm currently 5th on the leaderboard.
So it's definitely an RNG heavy game. I mean, I'd say there's definitely a part of it is skill, like just getting used to how, like, for instance, the proton pack works and lining up tether shots. If you can line up tether shots, like, your runs are going to just improve over time, because it's like a bit of risk, high reward type of capturing. But nonetheless, though, this game is definitely RNG heavy, and one of the first instances that you can run into RNG is in Sedgwick. Literally your first encounter with the bellhops, because they could capture really fast, or one can run behind the wall. Your second encounter with bellhops are just a nightmare. They can literally they can just go into the luggage bags over and over again, and it's that's a run killer. Slimer, most of the boss fights in this game have a bit of RNG to it.
What I thought about speedruns in general didn't really apply to this game. Usually I thought it was crazy skips, dumbass out of bound glitches, all of that shit. Things like Mario 64 where you do that fuck ass backwards arse jump up the stairs, shit like that. No, none of that. It's almost all about routing, how you go through the levels, how quickly you can do it, which is really slow for me because oh shit is it. But that's why I think it's so cool, because you don't have to worry about mental skips. It's all very vanilla almost. There's only 1 or 2 difficult skips in the game, and the rest is really just down to how you can apply what you know about the game, and I think that's kind of beautiful.
It's definitely just a one-way linear route. There's no way to wrong warp to the end or to a whole nother level. So you're gonna play the same 7 levels in a row. It's just how are you gonna utilize it, and how are you gonna what outcome are you going to get, either from your own skill or just a bit of RNG or luck or whatever. There is a little bit of routing you can pull off, mainly with scanning and upgrading, which I think plays a big role, because it's funny to watch old runs or even some modern runs where you just see people buy upgrades at different points, or they'll buy upgrades you don't buy at that stage, or they'll scan something that you don't scan. So there's a lot of potential on correct scanning and correct routing on what to upgrade. So there is a little bit of uniqueness in that.
The skips that are significant are quite difficult to pull off. I had a shitty, terrible, awful time trying to learn one of the 2. and that's the cruster skip, discovered by the runner Snarfy Peepwell. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, it'll be on screen. So it gets its name from allowing you to skip a ghost called Cruster. To do this, you launch yourself onto a railing, which is so difficult at first that the first time I tried to do this in a run, I think I lost about triple the time it would save. Spent about 7 minutes trying to do it. And after you're up on the railing, you go onto some bookshelves, and basically you just jump over the entire area of that part of the game, which I'm not going to go properly into how it works. You should find Dr. Ubershadow MD's video on it, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, this is the biggest time save in the game, clocking in about minute 45 if you pull it off well, which you probably won't pull it off first try most of the time, unless you've been playing it a lot. But it's very useful and it's very important to keep that in mind for the speedrun.
So, Cruster Skip originally was founded by speedrunner Snarfy Peepwell. It's a really frustrating thing to do. It's like, you can land it in practice so many times, but when you're like 40 minutes into a run, like, and then your run dies like that, it can be frustrating. I don't reset if I don't get a first try. Like, I'll try, like, at least on my pace, if I don't get it after like 6 tries, the run is dead. Anyone who says they're good at Cruster Skip is lying to you. They can maybe get a first try on a run, but it is a frustrating run. I've watched multiple people's runs die to Cruster Skip. It is really hard to land. I always recommend for people getting into the game to just not go for that skip right off the bat. It's like, you'll lose maybe at most like 3, maybe 4 minutes, but honestly, you probably weren't going to go for world record anyway.
And the second major skip is called the rubble skip, which I discovered around 2 months before this video. Now, this is fairly easy once you got it down, right? But it can be a bit of a piss take if you don't understand how to do it, as you'll get flattened by Stay Puft via fucking Bluetooth if you're not careful from halfway across the map, completely killing the run. You have to do the entire skip again, it's just not it. But if you know how to do it, that won't happen. Now, to actually do the skip, I'm not going to get into it either, because, again, I don't want to go into the bogged down details, but I'd recommend join the Discord and get it explained by someone better at it than me. In the end, if you've done this skip right, you'll save something around 30 seconds, which may not be worth learning early on, because really, you're more likely to fail it early on, and you'll save more time learning the routing. So once your time's already low enough that 30 seconds will make a proper difference, I'd recommend looking into that.
So there's a very funny live stream I have where we found every bad variation that can happen, and it's so fun. I think you were in the chat. Dude, I've had Stay Puft phase through the wall, I've had him like glitch out, step on me through buildings, step on me from far away, step on me when I was inside the building, and a lot of wacky shit. And it's a very weird skip, but I think my setup, because I kept on saying in the run, I think there's potential, and like, the biggest trick, and this is the funniest part, you have Ray Stance, legendary Ghostbuster who throws all your runs. I've realized that if you turn around, like after Stay Puft throws the sign, if you turn around, then Ray kind of teleports closer to you, because sometimes if you don't, then Stay Puft is gonna see him and then step on him, which kills your run. But the setup, I basically, you discovered it, but I polished it, and I believe it's very consistent. It can be a little RNG on like maybe where Stay Puft stands on his second phase, or how far does he walk towards you, or when does he start walking. But overall, still a tad bit RNG, but not as bad with the polished setup.
Now that you've learned a bit more about this speedrun, I'd love for you to try and come run this game yourself. Just, you can probably pirate it, to be honest, but you didn't hear that from me.